What's going on, everybody? Got another video here for you, solving a logarithmic equation. This one looks kind of complicated. Got a lot of stuff going on here. Now, the first thing that you might jump to is set log x equal to 6 and set 2 log x plus 1 equal to 6. You can't do that, okay? We've got to get everything, we need to get everything to one side and set it equal to 0. So first thing I want to do is I want to distribute the log x. And so that's going to give me 2 log x squared. Okay, log x times log x is log x in parentheses squared plus log x equals 6. And then I'm going to subtract 6 to both sides. So I get 2 log x squared plus log x minus 6 equals 0. All right. Now, I've got some other videos up of solving these types of equations. These are equations that are quadratic in form. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, let's just look at this. 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. That's a quadratic equation, right? See, if I take this middle variable here and I square it, I end up with the first variable. Now, what if I take this middle variable, this log x, square it, do I end up with the first one? Yes. Well, let's write that down and show it. So I'm going to let u equal log x, and then if I square both sides, I get u squared equals log x squared. Okay? So what I did there is I'm using u substitution to solve this equation that's quadratic in form. And so what I'm doing here is I'm letting u equal this middle term, and then I'm squaring both sides to see if I end up with the first term, and I did. So now the log x squared, I can replace that with u squared, and the log x here, I can replace that with u minus 6 equals 0. So what I did is I just used a u to rewrite it to make it look simpler, to where it looks like a quadratic equation now. I can factor that. I know how to do that. Okay. So now let's come up here and factor this thing. So I've got 2u, 2, 3, plus, minus. So now I set each one equal to 0. So 2u minus 3 equals 0, or u plus 2 equals 0. So 2u equals 3, u equals 3 halves. And then here I get u equals negative 2. Now, remember, we're not solving for u. We're solving for x. See, x is the variable in the original equation. So I need to solve for x. So if I look at this, you see this u here. What does u equal? Well, u is equal to log x. So I'm going to replace both of these u's with log x. So I get log x equals 3 halves, or log x equals negative 2. All right. So now how do I solve those? Well, convert them to exponential form. Now remember, when you have log, remember this property, the log of x is equal to the log of x with base 10. It's understood to be base 10 if there's nothing written there. So remember, that's understood to be a 10. So if I convert that to exponential form, I get 10 to the 3 halves equals x. I'll write the x on the left-hand side. Once again, that does not matter if you write it on the left hand. If you swap it, you can leave it like this. You can write it like this. I'm just going to write it with x on the left-hand side. And then here, I get 10 to the negative 2 equals x, or x equals 10 to the negative 2. And so there's your answers. All right. And now this one right here, if you want, I mean, I don't know what your teacher wants you to do. If you're in my class, you can leave it like that. But this right here is what? The square root of 10 cubed, right? If we convert it to radical form. And so this is x is equal to, now remember, this is what? 10 squared times 10. And so x is equal to, what's the square root of 10 squared? Well, 10 squared is 100. Square root of 100 is 10. Square root of 10. So you can write it like this if you want to. And this one, if you want, you can write it as 1 over 10 squared. Remember, that's 1. Bring it across the fraction bar to change the sign of the exponent. X equals 1 over 100. Okay? So, you can leave it like this. If your teacher wants you to write it out like that, simplify your answer more, then there you go. Now you know how to do that. All right, so I hope that video helped. Check out my other videos. Give me a like, share, subscribe, comment. I will see y'all in the next one. Later.